I'll request you all to be interactive with me, and whenever we want, we can carry it forward. I will not hasten up my presentation, but the request is please pay attention as the presentation and the level 5 healthcare leadership. The presentation is specifically aimed at all the young doctors and young practitioners who are here, who are to go ahead in their life of healthcare delivery, and they should imbibe the traits of a good level 5 healthcare leader. The outline would be something like this: introduction, who or what is a level 5 healthcare leader, competencies, and a small study that we have done to show practically where our country is lacking. As we had discussed yesterday, we have to customize all the resources and all our practice modalities to the needs of our country, to the needs of our healthcare. That would be my stress as I move ahead. Let's analyze a small little story. Dr. V was born to a farmer's family in 1918, somewhere in Madurai. He used to walk 3 miles to school every day. He completed his medicine in 1944 from Stanley Medical College. Proud that, I am his follower. He joined the Indian Army Medical Corps. And the next year until the end of Second World War was an eventful one for Dr. V. Dr. V, he always wanted to be a gynecologist, but he got afflicted with rheumatoid arthritis. So he could not become a gynecologist. Then what? You always wanted to be a gynecologist, you have been afflicted with a disease. What do you do? How do you go ahead with life? Or you just give it away? Let's see what he did. He believed in the faith being bigger than your fear. He completed his training in ophthalmology at the age of 58, when most of us decide to retire from active surgical practice. And he started the great Arvind Eye Care Hospital, which we all know is perhaps one of the leading eye care hospital, not only in India, but in the globe too. While setting up this hospital, his philosophy was very clear. He was a highly modest and humble gentleman, and he always wanted to leverage on the existing technology and the cost of surgery. That for you, ladies and gentlemen, is Dr. Govindappa Venkataswamy, who is the founder of Arvind Eye Care Hospital. I have taken his example as a level 5 hierarchy leader because he is the one who truly epitomizes who a level 5 leader is. In the level 5 hierarchy, the level 1 leaders are those who are highly capable individuals. Most of you are. You are all hardworking, you have talent, you have knowledge. But then that puts you at level 1. Level 2 would be those people who are contributing team members. As a team, you are able to deliver results. Level 3 is when you don on the managerial roles. The organization starts having bigger faith in you. The organization entrusts you with bigger roles. Then comes level 4. Please pay attention to level 4 and level 5. These are the two most important levels to which I wish that each of us who are there in this auditorium gradually transit to as we move ahead in our path of delivery of quality healthcare. Level 4 healthcare leaders are those leaders who catalyze commitment, vigorous pursuit, and the goal is clear in front of them. But level 4 leaders, they propel the organization to great heights, but they are the ones who are the I people. They say the organization is there because I am there. They say the organization is there because of my efficiency. They don't propel the organization to a level where if they are not there, the organization still continues. That is where the role of a level 5 leader comes. Level 5 leaders are self-effacing individuals. They don't want to be seen. They don't want to be known. They are self-effacing individuals, and they will do whatever it takes to make their company great. Their ambition is first and foremost for the institution. My request to each of you is, in healthcare, the only thing that we are lacking today is our passion and commitment. We are living in individual silos. Wherever we are, let us try to invest ourselves totally to a cause and to see that the place that we are delivers the kind of healthcare that is accepted globally. Level 5 leaders do not talk about themselves. They are modest and they never wanted to be larger than life images of persons. But these are ordinary people who are very quietly producing extraordinary results. Ordinary people who are producing extraordinary results for the organization. This is very important. You have to have faith in yourself. You have to have faith in yourself that as doctors, as administrators, if there is a problem, I'll be able to handle it. I should be the one who will be able to handle it for the organization. They are fanatics. Level 5 leaders are fanatics. And if it is required, they will put everything at stake. They will put everything at stake for their own organization. They are not I people. They are not I people, and they are insistent on sustained transformation of their organization to higher level. Several leaders of level 5, they attribute success to various factors, but for themselves. There is something called windows and mirrors. There are leaders who, if they succeed, they say, yes, it's all because of me. It's all because of me. Those are the people who look into the mirror. So mirror is for them. Whereas level 5 leaders, whether it is success or failure, they will look out. They will say it is because of my team. It is because of my team. And level 5 leaders always looks in the mirror to apportion responsibility for poor results, never blaming any other people. They will say if something has gone wrong, it is me. If something has gone wrong, he takes the total responsibility. Then how does one become a level 5 leader? Level 5 leaders, as we go ahead in the presentation, we see what is it, what are the traits, or what are those transforming points which take you to level 5 leadership state. Level 5 leaders will do everything by very specific objectives. Their vision is not for 5 years or 10 years. Even when planning for their successors, what level 5 leaders will do is they will not look into family affairs. They will not look into who or what in the family can affect their organization. They will always look at who is the person who can take the mission, the vision, and the culture. Mind you, I am using three very important words. The vision, the mission, and the culture of the organization, the way it has been started, forward in generations to come. Every big organization should have a very clear vision, where it wants to be, and when you are also working, you should try to align yourself with the vision of the organization. Then comes the mission part. What all needs to be done to reach to those levels. And culture of the organization is something that keeping in mind both this vision and mission. Now, who is not a level 5 leader? As I said and I've explained you, anyone who is talking about himself, who is not very concerned about the future of the company, and who wants, rather these are the kinds of people who are appointed from outside and they feel that if I am not there, the company should not grow. Huge, big companies like Lee Iacocca of Chrysler fame, he was a level 4 leader. He could never become a level 5 leader. There are very few level 5 leaders in India whom I can actually say that they gave away everything for the organization that they were. One of them was the Revered Mother Teresa, Dr. Arvind in our eye care specialty. And these leaders have given their whole life following the path of humility, modesty, and wanting to do what is right for the organization. Till now, have I been able to explain to you all who or what a level 5 leader is? Please tell me, in this hypoglycemic state, are all of you with me? Be honest. Okay, so you have understood who or what a level 5 leader is. As I told you, there are certain drivers to become a level 5 leader. Level 5 leaders automatically don't come up. So what are the drivers of becoming a level 5 leader? Level 5 leadership is an essential factor for taking an organization from good to great. And there are 5 drivers of level 5 leadership. The first one is first who, second one is Stockdale paradox, third one is the flywheel, fourth one is the hedgehog concept, and the fifth one is a culture of discipline. These are all managerial knowledges out of the management books and real life stories which have come across to explain to you what it takes to be a level 5 leader. What it takes to be a level 5 leader. First who? It's very important in any job or in any planning that we are doing, any project that we are doing. As a level 5 leader, we should have the right person at the right seat, and both of them should be able to direct the project in the right direction, take the mission in the right direction. As a level 5 leader, what is most important for us? The important part is we should have total control. There are various styles of leadership, in which one of the style is that we'll let go of all the things that you are to do. We delegate you the powers in entirety, but then we have a control and we are able to get it back on track. Suppose somewhere some mistake is there. Yesterday you heard about the Lean Six Sigma and all these, statistical as well as quality improvement tools. These are the tools which with one must get acquainted, because these are the tools which will help you to keep the track as well as to keep your hands on the right side of the project that's going to happen. Stockdale paradox. It's a very interesting story. Stockdale was an admiral of US Navy. He was imprisoned for 8 years during Vietnam War. During Vietnam War, this gentleman was imprisoned for 8 years. He knew it very well. His life couldn't be worse at that moment. He knew that whatever I am going through, this is the worst situation that I can be. But he was very sure that his life is going to change and change for the better. Of course, he got released after the Vietnam War. He ultimately rose to be the admiral of US Navy. But the very fact and the realization that the situation that he was in is perhaps the worst for him at the existing point of time, and he accepted it. Please understand two very important things. Don't confuse it with optimism. Confuse it with optimism. Learn to accept the reality. If there is a problem, please learn to embrace it. Yeah, there is a problem. There is a problem with my system. There is a problem in the situation. So I should know how to handle that. I should know what should be done to handle that. Don't become ostrich. You know what ostrich does now? Puts its head down, closes its eyes, and thinks that everything is going to be all right. No. If there is a problem, action is required. Intervention is required. But have faith that this is a temporary phase and things will improve. Things will improve. So this Admiral Stockdale, during his imprisonment, wrote a lot of letters to his wife in simple language, but gave out a lot of information. He made all out efforts so that he and his friends, after 8 years, they could secure their release. And he ultimately rose to become what he is. Had he lost hope, had he given up, a lot of his friends died because they were very optimistic that everything is going to be all right. And when that didn't happen, in maybe 2 years or 3 years, they died. They died out of depression, heart attacks and all that. But then he was the one who could sustain not only himself but his friends. That is the Stockdale paradox for you. Then comes the flywheel. You have seen the flywheel. You should know how to throw it, in what way to throw it. So the flywheel has been applied at various levels. I have got you an small extract from the Cleveland Clinic flywheel. You should have your wheel. A wheel, something is like a chart wherein you should know what are the facts you have to keep your track on. Starting from hiring the right medical professional to cultivating a collaborative patient-related culture and working across specialities, breaking the silos, seeing the patient in toto. If a patient has come to you, then he has to be seen in toto. The other day in one of the leading hospitals, I found a very interesting case happening. There was a patient who needed both vascular surgery as well as nephrology dialysis. Okay. Vascular surgery, it was an emergency. The patient was in a very bad state. The consultant admitted the patient. By evening, the nephro people, they just denied. They said, no, we don't have facility. Not that they didn't have facility. When we spoke to them, one simple answer came out. Why he didn't talk to me? Why he didn't talk to me? I was actually aghast and I was wondering, please understand, if he has not spoken to you, what is this patient's responsibility? Why should the patient suffer? That is why as administrator, we should not get biased. Please look at the bigger picture. And yesterday also I told you, patient should be your core area of concern. The fights can go on, but patient should be the core area of concern. And please attract patients from all over the world because of your care and the standards that you set. Whatever is your resource engine, fuel it, keep it adequately pumped. You will require things. And please invest in best facilities, research, and the best people. That's what has taken Cleveland to the heights that Cleveland enjoys today. Then comes this interesting concept called hedgehog concept. Hedgehog concept. Okay. Hedgehog concept is essentially about three circles intersecting at a point, and it defines how we should evolve as leaders. First and foremost, I have to understand what I want to do. You all are in your formative years. Please understand what you want to do. What are you passionate about? Don't do anything that you don't want to, because then it will be a second or third type of career for you and you will not enjoy it. Please do what you are best and what you are passionate about. Most important in this whole gamut is what drives your economic engine, from where your money is coming or from where you can earn. What is it that you do will fund the projects that you want to do, and you are able to carry both of it happily. Imagine a scenario. The other day I was talking to one of the coaches of a very good sport. I said, how lucky you are. He says, yes, this is what I like doing the best. I'm a player myself. What more can I do? Like every day morning I land up on this course and I start playing. So he's the happiest person on earth. So please identify that, because unless you are happy, unless you are satisfied with what you are doing, you will not be able to give back to the organization. Of course, technology, a word of caution. A word of caution, technology is the thing that is propelling various factors of healthcare delivery. But please use that much of technology which you can handle, which can be handled by the people behind the machines, as Dr. Shetty sir told yesterday. And only that much of technology what you can sustain. This is very important while planning your various departments. Don't just go in for things because they are available and you have the money. Technology becomes redundant overnight. Overnight things wash away. Okay. So do only that much that you can handle, and from where your return on investment for your organization is there. Knowing about technology is not bad, but utilizing it in the right way for the right kind of care with all the required legal checks and balances is extremely important. Very, very important. Then comes this thing called breakthrough momentum. Essentially, what happens is something like your escape velocity. If you are going through a project, or if you are going through some process where you want it to happen but it's not happening, it is oscillating, it's happening, it's not happening, it's happening, it's not happening, what you must do is don't leave it at that. If you are convinced that yes, this can be done, give it whatever push is required, in whatever form it is required, because once the breakthrough momentum is achieved, then the project will start taking care of you. Your hospital, your healthcare delivery will start taking care of you as a leader. So this is a very important thing to be read and understood, along with Stockdale paradox, that don't lose hope when it comes to leadership roles. Please don't lose hope. Last but not the least, of course, a culture of discipline. One has to be disciplined. One has to have discipline in all spheres, including thoughts, action, planning, integrity, most important in what you are giving back to your organization and to your employees. Please understand, the profit, the money that you earn or the organization earns should be invested responsibly back in various other agencies. All the big industries that have survived today, most of them, why most of them, almost all of them, they've got a very major role in corporate social responsibility. How can you be happy as a leader? How can you be happy leading your organization if the surroundings around you are not happy? Please learn this habit of responsibility to your society. Along with this, along with the 5 drivers, there are some latest changes that are coming in for level 5 leaders. And they are, most important is emotional intelligence. Along with IQ, now people are talking of EQ, emotional intelligence. How emotionally labile each of you are, or each of your employee is. What all needs to be done to improve the emotional health of that person. Because unless you do that, the person will not be motivated. And if the person is not motivated, no matter what you do, what you provide, you are not achieving the objective that is desired. Second is systems thinking. It is a time in patient safety, in various other quality indicators. It is a systems thinking. You have to put right your systems as a level 5 leader. It is the systems which is going to carry your processes. It is the systems which will define how the performance of the organization is there. Most important, the systems is going to be a huge safeguard for your organization in times of adversity. So please try to put the right systems in whatever functions in the ward or in the hospital, in whatever role you are doing. Last but not the least, managing chaos. Healthcare is an absolutely chaotic place, as is evident in our country. Unlike abroad, where things are very structured, where things are the way it should be, and the doctor-patient ratio and all the indices are within the limits that they should be, our country, let us accept it. The chaos is there. Don't take chaos in a wrong way. The chaos is there because most of the people who are coming are anticipating and expecting that they will all be given a lot of treatment when it is not required. Because our healthcare system has been designed in that way. In the process of our fight and tussle of providing healthcare to everybody, what we are doing is compromising on the process of healthcare delivery to most of the people. Please put a system in place where this chaos can be addressed. Please try to do the screening processes as they are supposed to be. That will help you in reducing your waiting time in hospital. the queuing theory and other theories that you are learning, those things will help you for the predictability in the consultation time, and the doctors per se will know how much of patients they are expecting. So this chaos, please embrace it happily. Be thankful that there is chaos. That means there is scope of work, and that means there is scope for expansion for your organization. Start seeing the right things. That is the managing chaos. These are the evolving concepts. All of you are with me in these 5 drivers and the evolving concepts. Any issues? Okay. So now that I am talking about level 5 leadership, in this forum, you all must be wondering whether it is just a talk or actually work has been done to prove that Indians have got a style of leadership and what all is needed to improve their style of leadership. For that, my teacher and mentor Dr. Shakti Gupta sir, when I was doing my masters under him, he told me, Saroj, let us take up a thesis of evaluation of competencies of Indian healthcare leaders. As I told you, our vision is to provide healthcare for local resources. You have got ample number of studies of healthcare leadership across the world. You Google and you will see. Various countries including South Africa, America, everywhere. But under his guidance and under his leadership, he taught me what is to be done. We did a very successful study. We've got it published, we presented papers. But I want to share the results with you. Please understand where Indian healthcare leaders are as of now. A man who wants to lead an orchestra must turn his back on the crowd. A hallmark of a level 5 leader. I don't want to be seen. More important is my concert should go smooth. Okay. So these are the takeaways as far as level 5 leaders are concerned, about which I have discussed with you. Now I'll be coming to the research that we did. I'll hasten it up a bit. Please tell me if you want any clarification. So we studied the various competencies of Indian healthcare leaders. Firstly, what competencies are? Competencies are actions or behaviors expected from a person who is holding a certain position, who is doing a certain role. In simple terms, competency is what you can do with what you know. That is what is meant by a competency. Competency is comprised of 3 elements: knowledge, skill, and attitude. Most important is knowledge. Firstly, you have to have the knowledge. That's why we keep on upgrading our CMEs and various training programs, because first you have to imbibe a competency. Competencies, there are various types of competencies, of which some of them are there which you can learn, some of them are there which you have to imbibe. I'm using 2 different terms: learning and imbibing. Imbibing is what you have to gradually absorb from what is happening around you. Learning, of course, from training programs. They will give you the needed skills, and attitude will help you deliver them. So it's an interplay of knowledge, skill, and attitude. Competency is an interplay of knowledge, skill, and attitude. Okay? These are the 3 major factors which are required. What we try is to assess these competencies in Indian healthcare leaders. Why are competencies important and what do they promote? Excuse me. Okay? The competencies promote consistency in your behavior, a template for evaluating clinical leaders, and an approach to leadership development in new or weaker competencies in workplace. Of course, an organized framework for collegiate programs. Why they are important? Okay? This is something which can be measured. Anything that can be measured can be replicated. We can do something to improve. That's why competencies are important for all of us. What we tried was customizing a set of competencies for Indian healthcare leaders. Okay, because healthcare leaders in India and abroad have to address plurality of organizations. Some of them are there in hospitals, some of them are there in clinics, and some of them are there in various health centers. Along with this, they have got various types of healthcare organizations, some private, some public, some not-for-profit, some are run by NGOs, and we have to find whether each of them also require a different set of competencies. We address all of that in this study. These were the objectives of the research: identifying the existing leadership competencies, comparing the levels of competencies with selective leadership models, and recommending leadership competencies required for healthcare leaders in Indian scenario. The questionnaires were given out to respondents. It was the e-questionnaire as well as hard paper questionnaire, and the people who were addressed were doctors and senior executives, including senior nursing executives. The data processing was done by the existing statistical software, and the questionnaire were given in Likert scale. Likert scale, I am sure all of you understand, A, B, C, D, E, from most likely to most unlikely. So that's how the questionnaire were formed, and these were the two questionnaires which were distributed. The most important part of the study was it was a self-evaluation. We accepted howsoever you evaluated yourself as well as the need of the competencies for your own self. We didn't question you on that. We said, yes, please tell us how competent you are on this set of competencies and how important do you think. So suppose in financial management, I say, yeah, it's a very important competency. But then I have to be honest to tell you all whether how much of financial management I know. Thankfully, the results were interesting. Outcome on select 26 competencies were analyzed. There were certain competencies which were found to be statistically significant. For healthcare leaders, the competencies were distributed into technical and non-technical competencies, and these were the statistically significant competencies. By technical competencies, I mean those competencies which can be taught to you, which you can be trained, whereas the non-technical competencies are something that has to be imbibed in your culture. Things like accountability, relationship building. It's not easy, but you have to gradually imbibe it, seeing your surroundings, and you have to improve. Only you can be honest about it. For trained and untrained healthcare leaders, there are some of us who have run a structured course in healthcare leadership, but there are some of us who, by virtue of being in administration, although they are not trained, but by being in administration for 30 odd years, they have imbibed a lot of administrative traits. In this, the outcome that was there was these were the competencies where the trained healthcare leaders felt that we need more training. Whereas untrained healthcare leaders, they also gave a list of competency where they felt they had a deficiency. Most important, please understand that competencies that I have marked in blue, performance management, process management, and strategic orientation are two places which are the technical competencies, but both the sectors felt that there is a need. Since yesterday, we've had presentation on the strategic vision for healthcare organization. Okay, why we need to monitor our performance as well as the processes. I'm happy to show you that all the types of Indian healthcare leaders, they honestly accepted that these are the fields where they need further development. They need further development. It was a good outcome for us. Then we also analyzed between public and private sector. Between public sector and private sector. And the interesting outcome where public sector doctors felt that they were deficient only in these three processes, competencies, whereas private sector was honest enough to accept that things like financial skills, HRM, performance measurement and process management, in all these things, they needed some more training. Maybe these are the things which are driving, these competencies are driving the deliverables in healthcare sector in corporate world. That's why they want to learn more. That's why they want to learn more. The whole aim of conveying you all this data information is as and when you are going into your upgradation modalities, try to imbibe as much of competencies that you can imbibe, because gradually each of you will migrate to level 3, level 4, and of course to level 5 healthcare leader. Then we did a domain analysis. Domain analysis was essentially to find out the whole lot of Indian healthcare leaders who were there. They are still in what level of healthcare competency? They're still operating at what level? And what we found out, most of Indian healthcare leaders, they perceived that they are still at operational level. In fact, none of them committed, or none of the results showed that any of them had reached transformational level. So the need of propelling these people from operational level, which fits somewhere between level 3 and level 4 of leadership, to transformational leader, which fits into level 5 of leadership, is imminent and is the need of the hour of our country. We have to do something so that most of them, they are all doing extremely well. They are all doing extremely well. The respondents were from very good hospitals. But at least they were honest that they needed something more to reach the transformational level. And this is how the result and the gap analysis that was done shot us to do one more study. Again, under Sir's guidance, my colleague, Garg, he started another study, and they decided on what type of leadership development program should be done. We are working on it, the thesis is over, we are working on it, but the aim of informing you is, whatever research that we are planning in our specialty of hospital administration and healthcare administration, please have an end objective, that if you are doing something, say suppose you are doing something in material management, some deliverable outcomes should be there. You should be able to contribute to the existing body of knowledge, and that should be customized for your local needs, for your local hospitals. Then only you will be able to enjoy the outcomes of such study. So these are the competency development strategies, competency assessment tools. You have to contextualize, you have to design customized programs, and professional development programs have also to be planned. Last, it is doable. Consistency is the key, and never say die attitude will scale you to this height. Of course, it is an utopian state, but it is achievable. Thank you all. That's all I had to say.
Thank you, sir, for that excellent talk. Now the session is open for discussion.
Thank you, sir, for the nice presentation. Sir, I think you have presented very well. I think we need a transformation in the medical curriculum, because we are never taught how to deal with the patients, no bedside ethics. We are not taught about accountability. We are not taught about the transformation. So I think this study has to be incorporated, and you have to do something to incorporate few of these concepts in the medical curriculum, because it is never taught in the medical curriculum.
Absolutely, you nailed it, sir. Absolutely. Persons, in fact, we've had a discussion on this. Sir will, bail me out that we all agree that right from MBBS days, this soft skills, handling patients rightly, communicating the right things, imbibing the right ethos, are as important as learning good anatomy, physiology, as well as biochemistry. Thank you, sir. I'm absolutely agreement with what you said.
So these factors you've pointed out for 5 factors. How do you incorporate into the corporate world or into the hospital sector? You need a monitoring system to go how it's about accountability. And the other 5 factors that you have mentioned, how to incorporate into the system.
The other 5 factors, as in your meaning goes, your stockpile paradox and all these things. You see, sir, those are the drivers of propelling you to level 5 state. You have to connect to situational. These are all situational things. You have to connect to the crisis that you face in hospitals. There may be times when everything would be looking, it's all gone. That's the time, yesterday we've had examples of people suffering heart attacks because of financial mismanagement. Okay, so that is where you have to have hope. You have to find ways of learning and correcting the mistakes and moving ahead. Giving up is the simplest thing to do. Please don't give up. So each of the indicators that was there or the driver that was there of level 5 leadership is to help you understand that, like the last one, breakthrough momentum. There's always a possibility of getting the escape velocity and move ahead. Don't leave it, sir. Don't quit. That is my message as far as the drivers are concerned. Anything else, sir?
Sorry, we are taking too much time from the front row itself. Nice presentation, much needed presentation, and about the competency and how to develop future managers. For a discussion's sake, there's a slight disagreement that I don't think in India there are only few level 5 managers or leaders like Mother Teresa or Mahatma Gandhi. We see level 5 leaders always around us all the time. You don't have to be the visionary, you don't have to be the big business guy or the leader. You can be as, in any of the food chain. Let's say you can be the housekeeping manager or canteen manager.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I was just saying
Yes.
one test what I always say to people, that if you think that you're a little manager or a team leader, there are nursing team leader, like for example, or a little ICU manager, nurse manager. And if you think that tomorrow, if I'm not there, if I have left my job, that okay, oh, it's going to be a chaos, there's going to be problem, and everybody is going to suffer, then you are certainly not a level 5 manager. You are going to be level 4 or below. If you think that tomorrow, Dr. Sadiq, I'm not there, after 1 year you tell me that unit will be perfect because I have created a system, I have left a system which will continue going.
Yes.
That is when
Absolutely.
it's a self-test for everybody.
Yeah, it's a self-test and escalation to that level for everybody. That's what I said. The whole aim of the presentation is this, that you learn this.
Just to actually share that after doing this 4 year study, we are already in touch with the British Embassy also in Delhi. And then actually we want to take up with the Prime Minister of India. We want to launch a leadership development program, which will be about 6 weeks. I can't expect that this program should go for 1 year. So we have worked actually what are the training needs, and then we have made a curriculum also. And it will be sort of a 4 weeks residential program in India, maybe in Delhi or whatever place is there. And 2 weeks will be in either London School of Economics or Oxford University. We are already working with them actually how to carry. But in the meantime, I am also in touch with the Ministry of Commerce also. And they are also very keen that we should take up it. Johnson is also a player which I have come forward actually to take up this program. And I shortly actually, maybe actually in this year we launch this program. So it will not be a sort of a didactic lecture or anything, only motivational. So we will be involving people from across the country. It is not necessary that everybody has to come over there actually and give a talk maybe through the video conferencing and other things. That we are just actually now finalizing, looking for an appropriate partner. Who will be the Johnsons were very keen, they came forward. They motivated also to do this type of studies also, so that we can start something in our country which is not there.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I once again apologize to all of you, okay, that we got delayed by half an hour, but I thought the continuity of the mission is more important, and I'm sure you will all will apologize. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. As a token of love and gratitude, we would like to present you with a memento. So may I now request Dr. Soman Jacob, Chief Executive Officer of Baby Memorial Hospital, to present the memento to Colonel Dr. S.K. Patnaik.